Hi, my name is Jerry and I collect 1970s toys, but for this video I should probably change that to like 60s, 70s, even 50s. For the reason for that is today we're having a look at this, the 1959 Airfix Guards Band and also the Color Party. But to start with this one, because this is the first toy soldier set Airfix ever made. And of course they're not fighting soldiers, they're more of a ceremonial soldiers. But like I said, 1959, but we're going all the way up until 2024 when Hornby, now owning the Airfix brand, re-released these, recast them in the original molds 65 years after this one was released. And it's also been 50 years since the last set of these went out of production in 1974. And if I did my math right, between 1974 and 2024, there's 50 years. So it sounds like it's going to be a long-ass video, 65 years. But there were actually not that many variations of these released as far as boxes go. And I mean, the figures are all the same. We're going to look at the Guards Band and the Guards Color Party, of course. And first, have a look at the boxes and then look at the figures and then try to see if the new ones holds up to the standard of the old ones, if the molds actually held up over time. And to my help, as always, with a little bit of research I've done, I used the Peter Williams book and then some of the old Airfix catalogs. So let's just start with the boxes. So 1959 marks the beginning for Airfix as far as toy soldiers go with this box. Only one released in 1959, and this is the only box with this type of box art on it. It changed then in 1960. And also this one is kind of interesting because it says OO scale. Everything else after this says HOOO scale for Airfix to be able to tap into the market of both those scales for trained modelers. And I just think these boxes are so damn pretty. I didn't used to like these when I started collecting. When I started collecting 1/32 scale, at the same time I started collecting some of the 1/76, and these are the ones I remember. The white boxes that were released from 1975. I had this set when I was a kid, the German Paratroopers, one of my favorites. So I wasn't particularly fond of these, but I started collecting the window boxes, the 60s, maybe like a year and a half, 2 ago. And I really come to like these a lot. I think they're really neat. I really like the artwork. It's so of the time. And this artwork really reminds me of that H.C. Andersen story about the tin soldier. Really neat, and the window and everything. On the back here then, just a little bit about the Guards Band here, what scales it would go with. And then you have what's in the box here. You can see there's 1 drum major, 7 side drummers, 5 saxophones, 1 bass player, 2 cymbalists, 7 tuba players. It's going to be a lot of oompa oompa. 10 flute players, that's a lot. 4 trombones and then 7 trumpets. And they tell you to paint it with Airfix paint. And it says here, this is number S1, the first ever made in England. A little note about the colors of the figures. You can tell these, I'll take these out as well, that these are cast in pink. Also, I'll show you this. The early ones up until 64, 65, I think, sometime came with the insert. I don't think all of the window boxes came with the inserts. It makes it look really nice because then they actually line up with the window. And if you don't have that, it just looks like a mess, and I think that's why they later stopped putting windows all together on the boxes. So these were made in pink, and some were made in red, and there's also some in cream, they call it. And there's some discussion online whether this is actually faded red figures or not, but they're actually pink, and Peter Williams confirms that in his book with Airfix. And as you can tell, they could come in a pink or they could be in a red. I think the artwork is really, really nice. I think Charles Oates did this one, right? The back, really nice figures as well. They changed the back of the Guards Band from what I guess is called a side drummer to a bass drummer. And then you get the soldier parading the colors there on the flag. And then on the Guards Band, or Color Part I should say, you get the content. You get 1 ensign with standard. 1 officer with sword. You get 36 other ranks, riflelet, slope, and then you get 2 other ranks rifleette present, and that's the guys that are actually standing with the sentry boxes. So you get 2 of those boxes in this one. And again, very basic but really pretty box art on these. And then in 1968 we get the Type 3 box, or as the collectors I guess call them, the blue box because of the blue on the sides. Guards band. You get a different back on these showing some of the figures. There's actually supposed to be some misprints of this. So the guards band will actually show the guards color party and the reverse. Not as nice, I think, as the other ones. Doesn't say how many out of each figure there is in this one, either of them. And but I think this is Brian Knight that did the artwork on these, and I think these are really pretty. Buckingham Palace, changing of a guard, I guess, or something in the back. And this one here, parade in the colors. It's just a really awesome, really awesome. And these came in variations also with window on the back, like this. And I have one here in red. And this is one in cream then, and also just shows the figures like the other ones. And then we get this one, 2024, 50 years later, vintage classic by Hornby, really, Airfix. These vintage classic boxes I really don't like. I think the shiny print on these, not that great, and I think that just the cardboard of the boxes feels so cheap. And I think they actually managed to degrade this image a little bit. It's kind of fuzzy. It's not as sharp as the original box art. So it's going to be interesting to see the figures. And on the back you get whatever is in the box. You get those 7 tuba players again and the 10 flute playing soldiers. And then for the guards color party, the back just looks like this. Maybe not the greatest boxes to collect, but if the figures are nice to clean and paint, they could be actually a pretty good set. So I figure it's time to start having a look at the figures. I'm just gonna move the camera over to the light box and see what we got in here. There you go. I figure I set the pink figures up because they're the earliest ones. So it's kind of neat. So here we got then, of course, the trombone player, flute player, tuba, saxophone, and trumpet. And then over here you got cymbal, bass drum, side drum, and drum major. And I mean, for being a plastic injection molding set from 1959 in 1/76 scale, I think the details on these are pretty darn nice actually. So for the guards color part, I figure I show you those in the cream color. Hopefully that shows up well on the camera. But over here, of course, you have the soldier rifle at present. I said, maybe it's present. He's presenting the rifle. And this is the soldier with the rifle at slope over the shoulder. And then you have the officer with the sword. And then you have the soldier with the standard. And I think this has to be Airfix toy soldier set with the least amount of poses, only 4. And like I said before, you get 36 of the soldier with the rifle on the shoulder there. So lastly, the red soldiers. The ones over here are the new ones from Hornby. They are in a little bit darker red, and I think the castings of these are actually fine. I don't see much difference from the old ones. The ones over here on the left are 2 different ones from the 60s. One is a little bit more bright red, and this one is leaning a little bit more towards orange red, I would say. Not sure how much shows off on camera. So even back in the 60s, there were some variations in the red color as far as I can find in the sets that I own. So this is a time travel image for you. You got 1958, you have the 60s, and then you skip ahead all the way till 2024. I think the new ones hold up pretty well, and I'm excited. I'm going to actually paint some of these now. Or not now, I mean sometime when I have time. But anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Cheers!